What's going on, guys, and welcome back to another episode of Career Mode. This is episode number 81, and we start today's episode off with a U-Squad monthly report here, so you can see how the Canadians are currently getting on in our academy, and also a squad report and a look at the standings as well. Right now with Watford, as we close the season out here, as we've entered May, the final month for fixtures with the club, as you can see right now, or you'll see in just a moment's time I should say, we're currently leading the league by 3 points, clear of Manchester United in second, and 4 points clear of City, who are in third, as 3 teams are still going for the Premier League with just 3 games to go. In the FA Cup, we're through to the final after beating Liverpool quite comfortably in a semi-final 2 episodes ago, and in the Champions League, in the last episode, we beat the Portuguese side Benfica over 2 legs by 6 goals to 2, and are into our first ever Champions League final. So to end the season with Watford, we've got 81, 82 and 83 for episode numbers, and what an end of season it could be. In episode number 81, you're going to see the final games of the Premier League season. In episode number 82, you're going to see the FA Cup final against Arsenal, and in episode number 83, you're going to see the Champions League final, which is going to be against the Spanish side, Barcelona. So it's going to be an incredible end to the season, and if we can complete this treble, like, it's what we're going in search of, it's what we really want. If we can complete a treble in just our 3rd season with Watford, what an incredible achievement that would be. We are favourites to win the Premier League, that's for sure, with 3 games to go. Of course, as you can see, 3 points clear of United and 4 clear of City, got a better goal difference record than both of the Manchester sides as well, and we are, of course, at home for our final 3 fixtures too, so we are going to be favourites to win our first ever Premier League title. In the FA Cup, trying to retain it, we won it last year, trying to win it back to back for the first time, a repeat of last season's final, which was of course against Arsenal last year, so it was against Arsenal this year too, obviously that's why it's a repeat, and in the Champions League final as well, hopefully we can upset the odds and beat Barcelona, but we'll just have to wait and see. But either way, it's been an incredible season regardless, and I have been reading the comments of late as well, and a lot of you guys have been talking about possibly making this the final season. You guys want it to be the final season with Watford and then move somewhere else. I will discuss it in episode number 83, but to be completely honest with you guys, I don't mind either way. Whether we leave or stay, I really don't care. I just want to do what you guys want, but we'll discuss it in more detail in episode number 83. That will be the Champions League final, but I do take your comments on board. I do understand that quite a few of you guys do want me to leave next season, but again, we'll discuss it in more detail in a couple episodes time. But still, taking on Newcastle here for the first of the 3 remaining Premier League games in today's episode here. Our last 2 Premier League games have been a defeat at home to West Bromwich Albion and a draw against Aston Villa away at Villa Park in the last game. So coming to this one here, Steve McLaren's side currently have an outsized chance of qualifying for the Champions League, so they were going to be really going for it in this game, and as you can see, 10 minutes in, won a penalty, but fortunately for us, Romelu Lukaku, the former Everton, Chelsea and Anderlecht striker, who also spent a loan spell at West Bromwich Albion as well, unfortunately for him and fortunately for us, couldn't find the back of the net and hit the post. So what a great chance there for Lukaku, the Belgian, to make it 1-0 to the away side, and he hit the post from the penalty, and Riedewald turned it behind for a corner. So still goalless in this game, and a massive let-off for us. We also hit the post 9 minutes later as well. Loftus-Cheek's shot was well saved by Tim Krul. It fell to Ross Barkley though, who smacked the ball against the woodwork, and eventually, after Balotelli's Rabona cross, Janmaat gets it away, and the danger is clear. So still 0-0, but both sides hitting the woodwork early on in this game. But in the 25th minute, though, a great chance for Newcastle to once again open the scoring. Lukaku couldn't score from a penalty, so this time decides to assist his teammate, and unfortunately for us, 25 minutes in, Wijnaldum gives Newcastle the opening goal of the game, and after some really poor defending to begin this game, I was not one bit surprised to see Butland beaten and the away side take a surprise lead. But of course, over the past few games, as I said there, our last 2 games in the Premier League were a defeat and a draw to West Brom and Villa. I haven't been feeling confident at all. I really haven't been. I've been feeling very unenthusiastic and just very downplaying our chances of possibly going on to win this title, to be honest, because despite leading the league, we've been so tired over the recent weeks in terms of the fixtures we've had to play. So many of our players just cannot play in the midweek games and then play on the weekend as well, which means I keep on needing to rotate the squad and playing different players, which I never like to do too often, as I like to get a good first 11 pattern going, where I have the same first 11 out for game in, game out. But thankfully for us, just 2 minutes after the restart, I made a tactical switch and took off William Carvalho and brought on the ever so reliable Troy Deeney, pushed Loftus-Cheek back down to playing a natural defensive midfield role, and as you can see, it takes just 2 minutes for Troy Deeney to come off the bench, score once again, And this season, our number 9 has had limited minutes, but he's still got 7 goals in the Premier League. So he equalises for us there and does make it Watford 1, Newcastle 1. And what a big goal that could prove to be, as he does equalise here at Vicarage Road. In the 71st minute, Loftus-Cheek goes for goal from just outside the area, but Tim Krul turns it behind for a corner. A good stop there by the Dutch goalkeeper, and it was still 1-1. And from the corner, it's crossed into the centre towards Troy Deeney. Michael Keane flicks it on, but heads it wide the post and behind for a goal kick. So 1-1 was the final score, as you can see. It did end that way after 90 minutes. To be honest, I am disappointed to have 3 games now in the Premier League without a win, but just making sure that we didn't lose the game was the most important thing. Because it does mean with 2 games to go, we are still going to be ahead of United by at least 1 point, regardless of what happens in their fixture. And of course, that does mean with the 2 home games remaining, destiny is still in our own hands. And if we win those final 2 Premier League games, we will be crowned champions regardless of what the Manchester sides do. Still, following this game, something really amazing happened. You guys have been hearing me talking about this over quite a while now, and well, I just really want to share this with you guys, and yeah, I'm just so happy. Yes, get in. The Canadian FA have come to us and said that we have been placed in the group stages for Russia 2018. I am so relieved about this. You guys have no idea, because we spent the past 3 seasons scouting Canada and picking up a load of youth talent, and I've been thinking to myself, this is probably going to be all for waste, because you've heard me talking about it for quite a while now. We've had no qualifiers with Canada whatsoever. We haven't played a single game with the country, yet they've continuously renewed our contract, and of course the objective has been to qualify for a World Cup, and I've been wondering what's been going on. I've been wondering whether it's been a complete waste for me, and if we will have any kind of World Cup games or any national tournaments whatsoever, but much to my surprise and to my complete relief, the Canadian FA have informed us I need to pick my squad for the World Cup at the end of the season. So I'm so happy about that. The Canadian dream lives on, and it's just been such a relieving. Like, when that email came, like, I was just like, wow, like, seriously, I am just the most relieved person on YouTube right now, because you guys have been watching me scout Canada, thinking I've been completely wasting my time. I've been thinking I've been wasting my time, but instead, I'm so glad we're into the World Cup group stages. It'll be the end of this season. We've picked a very young team. I think I counted 13 players are youth players that belong to us, and I am just so pleased about this, man. It's going to be so fun to play this World Cup with a bunch of teenagers and see how we do. Still, we take on Burnley here for the penultimate game of the Premier League season here at Vicarage Road, and of course our last 3 Premier League games: a defeat to West Bromwich Albion, a draw against Aston Villa, and a draw against Newcastle United. Coming into this game, there was no excuse for not winning this game. Top versus bottom at home. We could not afford to slip up once again for a 4th consecutive game. We'd opened the scoring here through Mario Balotelli in the 32nd minute after Ryan's had it the post earlier, and we did make it 1-0. We were playing better at the half as well, despite Burnley dominating possession, and in the second half here, just 6 minutes after the restart, Klein intercepts this lazy pass, goes down the right hand side, swings across into the far post, picks out Balotelli, and Mario, who's been struggling of late, not going to lie, only scored a few goals, does make it Watford 2, Burnley 0, and surely set us on course for our first win in a few games. So really pleased with that. Great assist by Klein, who once again has been fantastic for us at right back this season. What a signing he has been. And Balotelli, as you can see, heads in at the far post to get goal number 20. He has been struggling late. I know half his goals this season have been penalties, really, but he does score there, and these 2 crucial goals could see us win on a penultimate game of the season. So winning this game, of course, would mean that going into the final day, it wouldn't matter what City and United do. If we go into the final day, if they still have a chance to win the title, as they would still be a minimum of 1 point behind us. That would be United. It would be a minimum of 1 point behind us. So going into this game here, we just have to make sure we got the win, because it will mean the destiny will be in our own hands going into the final game of the Premier League season. So 2 goals up in this game, but from kickoff here, Burnley came back and would get themselves back in the game just a few minutes after we got ourselves our 2-goal cushion. Sam Vokes headed this cross in at the far post here to make it Watford 2, Burnley 1. This is a bizarre goal though, because the cross comes in here. We got goal decision system for it. Butland somehow clawed the ball off the line with so much power with his fingertips. It hits the post and goes flying afterwards, but it did cross the line, and it was Watford 2, Burnley 1. But thankfully for us, Butland here makes an unbelievable save in the 89th minute. George Boyd got played forward. It really was a heart-to-mouth moment there. I thought for sure that Boy was going to make it 2-2 and see Burnley come from 2 goals down to equalise. And despite the already relegated side being out of this game for the most part, I thought they might have snuck away with a point. But instead, Butler made a really, really big save. How many times have I said that this season? He's been so good for us. And of course, we did win the game by 2-1. So our first win in a few games. And also following the game as well, some really, really important news. United, as you may have seen there, it did go by pretty quickly, could only manage a draw against Spurs. Pochettino's side do us a massive favour on a penultimate game of the season, and last season's champions do ensure that we will surely be this season's champions. So really pleased with that. Spurs have done the job for us, and that means that coming into the final game of the Premier League season, although mathematically and technically we weren't crowned Premier League champions, because we still needed to make sure we didn't lose by 9 or more goals on the final game, which surprisingly we don't do. It was basically all over, because United played earlier in the season for the final day. As you can see, they won their game. So we were level on points, and again, had we lost this game by 9 or more goals, we would have lost our lead, but let's be honest here, that wasn't going to happen. So we've won the Premier League title for the first time with Watford. Absolutely delighted about that. It was a really anticlimactic finish to the season, I'm not going to lie. In a way, I kind of would have preferred it to have gone down to the final day, which again, technically it did, but what I mean is I would have preferred for us to need a point or a win or something on the final day, just to make it a bit more dramatic really for you guys. But either way, the most important thing is what you're seeing right here. Celebrations, because for the first time, Watford are Premier League champions. Absolutely delighted. Thought it was kind of fitting as well. I picked a really weak side, but I did put Troy Deeney on the pitch because Deeney, Watford through and through, loves the club. I thought, he's not the captain for the team right now in this stage in career mode, but he was when we took over. He's a loyal servant. He's going nowhere in this team. He's going to stay here forever, and I thought it was kind of fitting that he got to lift the trophy. So we drew the game 0-0, by the way. It was a goalless draw. Very poor one. Crescito made a couple of good saves, but other than that, it was a pretty drab game. But still, we do get the job done, as you can see. 38 games down, 78 points for Watford, 77 for United. City finishing third, Liverpool in fourth, and Spurs claim the 5th place for Europa League. But of course, the most important thing was that we claimed our first ever Premier League title. So 1 trophy down and 2 to go. The FA Cup final to come in the next game and in the next episode against Arsenal. And then, of course, in episode number 83, in 2 episodes' time, on Saturday morning, we will have the Champions League final against Barcelona. So really looking forward to both of those games. Hopefully, this is the first of the Magic Treble. We'll have to wait and see. But either way, some fantastic news in this episode. We've got the World Cup to come the end of the season with Canada. Real relief for me. Of course, the Premier League title being won as well. Believe it or not, is quite important as well. The first of hopefully 3 trophies. Come on, Watford. Let's get it done. Let's make this a season to remember right at the end. But thank you for watching the video regardless, guys. Hope you have enjoyed the episode. If you have enjoyed today's episode of Career Mode, then please do leave a like. And I'll see you for the final 2 episodes of the season with Watford in the next episodes tomorrow and Saturday morning as well. Don't miss them. Going to be really epic finals. Should be really good. Thanks for watching this one though. Hopefully you enjoyed it. And I'll see you for the next episode of Career Mode very soon.